cars, coffee, and life. That's what it's all about here on this channel. Do you have your coffee? Do you have it in your Project Z28 coffee cup? Why not? And links down below. I don't make a lot on them. I kind of kept the prices low on it, but the proceeds help to go to fund builds like this. I'm trying to build a garage so I can continue to do these projects, guys. I'm a disabled veteran with my back. I really cannot do these things on the floor of this garage any longer. But the garage is in the works. I have a fencing company coming out, should be this week, sometime midweek. The gates had to be built to put in a gate into the existing chain link fence on the back side of my property. Once that's installed, I will then have access to bring the land clearing people in. Because see, right now I have my backyard separated by a wooden privacy fence, and then the chain link fence is here, and then the house and this is here. There's no way to get their equipment back there because the only thing in the chain link fence right now is like a single entry gate. So once that's done, we're going to get the land cleared, and then we're going to get some costs on getting some concrete poured for a foundation. I also need to find out how much garage can I afford to build. I'd really like something maybe about 20 by 40 or 25 by 40. I'm kind of thinking to give me a little room for the toolboxes, air compressor, and that. So I think 25 feet, 40 deep should fit 2 cars. I might have to adjust that based on the size of the RV, because that's something I want to store in there as well, because I don't want to leave it out front. I can't fit it into the backyard. So definitely this garage is going to happen. This should be a good thing for me and the channel. So anyhow, hopefully by the end of this video we're going to get Project Z28 started. I mentioned before in the last video, I have to modify that ignition coil bracket, which is in the vise right there. Once I get that on, I'm going to go ahead and work on getting the intake manifold, get these runners put in, and then we can get the base here installed. And once that's done, then I need to put on valve covers, run some spark plug wires. All this sounds too easy. It really does sound too easy. With my luck, I don't know, but I put the spark plug wires on. The car should be ready for a trial start. I won't be able to run it long because I won't have any accessories bolted on. I won't have any antifreeze in here. But it's not going to overheat, seriously, in like 30 seconds or even 60 seconds. It can run that long. I mean, think about when you start up your car in the morning. I mean, it takes a while. So I can run it. I mean, just as long as I can get a start and it idles and it runs, I'll be happy. Then we'll go ahead and put on all the accessory brackets, the hoses, fill this thing full of antifreeze, and get the AC and that hooked up, get the belts on there. She should be good to go for that first test drive, man. I want to feel what the suspension feels like, man. There's still a lot of firsts for this car. Maybe there'll still be more work. I would really love to do some transmission work to get this thing to shift. Possibly a bigger rear end, something stronger. I'm not sure how well this factory rear end's going to hold up. Maybe some components back there in the rear end to help strengthen everything. We'll just have to wait and see how far the channel grows and stuff like that. So let me go ahead and get to work, and I'll check back in probably after we get this manifold bolted up. Boom. Well, as you can see, we have spark plug wires running down. They're fairly long. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I don't know why they're so monstrously oversized. Maybe I need to look at doing a custom set and just crimp them to length. Return these. MSD. Also, I'm not sure what's up with my coil wire. It is totally messed up. You guys, look at this. Maybe somebody could figure this one out, why this thing is sticking out so far. And no, it doesn't retract in. I can see the fitting there. So luckily I only kept one wire off my old set, and that was the coil wire. So man, valve covers are in. I got my breathers on, and I'm freaking nervous. I ain't gonna lie, I'm freaking nervous. I should be able to put this key on and this thing fires up. Now it's only down to a Y pipe. It's gonna be freaking loud, but I am freaking nervous. Can only run it for a minute because there's no coolant or anything in here. But alright guys, let's do this. Then I'll discuss some things with that. Oh lordy, here we go. Well, that's disappointing, but that's par for the course. I probably have a timing issue. Sounds like, so might just have to get a timing light in here and have the wife crank it over and figure out where we're at. So stay tuned. Well, I think I found the problem, and thank God for Ken. Ken is the owner or first fuel injection that makes the first tune port intake. He's fabulous, man. No matter what your problem is, you reach out to him, he'll answer. This had nothing to do with his intake. I asked him, I was like, hey, I'm not getting any spark. What do you think's going on? And I had a question on the ignition coil. I'll show you right here. The ignition coil, there's two plugs. One comes in from the harness, the other one plugs in here and was just a dead harness. I was going back to some pictures that I had, and I saw that harness laying under the intake, so I fit it and it went into the air intake temperature sensor, which to me didn't make sense. I didn't know how the car could actually read what the IAT was doing through the coil, but I'm like, it fit. Usually plugs don't replicate. Usually there's not more than one type of plug. So I went ahead and put it in, thought everything was good. Turned out that harness goes to the base of the distributor. The base of the distributor is two plugs that go in the back. So I had the IAT wire plugged into the distributor and the coil plugged into the IAT. So let's see if we can get some. Oh my God, please. And those batteries getting weak too. Alright, it's the next morning. I did a repair overnight. Oh, please. Hello everyone. I don't even know what to say at this point. I was really hoping to have this high-speed, cheery video, me jumping up and down with the car running, and I don't know if it's par for the course, if it's me, my life, or this car, but I've run into some more bad luck. And you know what? I'm not afraid to share my mistakes. I've made the statement before. I consider myself very knowledgeable about cars, but I am no way, shape, or form an expert on things. I've worked on cars, I've rebuilt engines before, but every now and then, life throws you a curve. So, as I had mentioned before, I miswired the distributor, which is basically, you have your distributor and you have a control module right here in the bottom. This wire here comes out of the factory harness. There's no mistaking it comes here. This harness comes up to a pigtail on the ignition coil, which will be like right here next to it. So the ignition coil has two plugs. One comes from the wiring harness. The other goes directly from the coil into here. So I mistakenly plugged in the plug from the wiring harness, which was right there. It was really right near it and it plugged right in, but it ended up being the harness for the intake air temp sensor. So whenever I powered on the car, most likely what happened is 12 volts went into this plug and fried this module. This is the module that came with the JEGS distributor I put in here. The module that's in the JEGS distributor now is the one from my cheapie, and I say cheapie because look, as soon as I went and unplugged it, the whole harness came apart. So once I did that, we got spark and I tried to start the car. I quickly heard a noise coming from the car. I stopped, checked some things out, I pulled the valve cover off, and I have 6 busted rockers. 3 on each side of the car and not in the same spot or in any particular order. What happened here is this is the stud. This threads into the head, and this is what's supposed to be there. As you can see, this is now in 2 pieces. What I believe happened is that the push rods that I got in the kit are too long. And I should have been worried, and I should have checked because, and I'll show you here in a minute, the rocker arms weren't sitting straight. Instead, they were kind of kicked like this. And the tip of the rocker arm, which now that I've watched some videos on how to find the proper length of rocker arm, the tip should be center of the valve stem, which kind of makes sense, but I wasn't sure with these being roller rockers. I mean, I've done roller rockers before, way back when I had my '69 Camaro, but everything fit. I never had any problems. But I think, too, when you're dealing with that older system, when you look at the short blocks, like a 350, it says from like 1957 to like 1985 or something like that. And I don't think there was a whole lot of change anywhere in between. I had a cast iron block, cast iron heads on my Camaro. There were the 202 160 Corvette Fuelie heads. And I don't think there was much change. Nowadays, you have so many different combinations of cylinder heads and things like that, that obviously some manufacturing differences are going to call for different push rods. I did call Comp Cams, told them what I was doing, gave them, and they gave me a recommendation for a cam. I went to Summit Racing and ordered a kit. I just kind of, I guess, assumed everything should work together. I do remember there being like, check your push rod length, and I didn't know how to do it. And I didn't take the time, I didn't do my due diligence and check to see what was. I was in a hurry to get the parts here. I wanted the car back together, so I ordered a kit, which was the cam, the push rods, and the lifters, rocker arms, and that, and or I think it was just it was the cam, the lifters, and the push rods, and I ordered the rocker arms. I didn't think I was going to worry about any push rod length because I wasn't running the 1.6, a higher ratio rocker arm, which would be bent down a little bit, which would in fact give you more lift. I figured, seeing how I'm just going to keep the standard rocker arm, I wouldn't have any problems with this fitting. So I don't even know what to say at this point. I screwed up. I didn't take my time, and I rushed into it. So I ordered some new studs. Even this is a complicated system because these threads are different, those threads are different. These come all different lengths. So I took my time, took out the micrometer, measured everything. I took out a thread gauge. I measured the threads, make sure I ordered the right ones. I even got ones that were designed to hold down a guide plate, which is what I have where the push rods come through. And I also ordered an adjustable push rod length checker. I'm going to take my time and measure, make sure. The only problem I see with that is those aren't designed to be used with like a dual spring system like I have in these heads. They want you to put in like checker springs, which are very light, and that would either require me to pull the head off, take the existing springs out, or there's a device you can screw into your spark plug hole, use a compressor, put air in, and then do all that. I don't have a spring compressor, so I really don't want to have to go that route. I seen a video guy checked it inside the car just by like adjusting it to where it shifted to. So I mean, I'm thinking it's probably pretty much going to be, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try just putting the factory push rod tube in there, and if it lines up perfect, then I know I can go with this length again. So I just I don't know, really disappointed in myself and everything else like that. So I apologize for the video being late. I actually found this out yesterday. I really wanted to get the car started before I put up the video. I kind of thought I'd get it started, throw up a video for you by noontime or something like that. I ran into these issues with no spark. I got the spark figured out. And like I said, then I started it and it ran for a second. I heard something ba-dang, clanging around, bouncing. And then the car just shut off. So, yeah. I swear, I think I need to fly Sparty Nation down here, man. I think I need to get you to come down. We'll fly you down here and you can help me build this car. I swear. I'll fly you down here. you could help me finish this freaking build, because I question everything I'm doing at this point. So that's where we're at. I don't know when we're going to have the next video up. Life's kind of chewing into me right now. My dad's going to be here tomorrow. I have to go over to the wife's old townhouse. Like I said, we had got that new door. Started pulling stuff out. Actually, we found some termites back there, and then when I was there the other day, we started cutting back some of the sheetrock to see how bad the damage is. And it's pretty extensive. It goes from the door clean to the neighbor's house, and no contractors will touch this because it's now penetrating into the next house, and they can't guarantee whatever. So my dad's going to come down, and he's going to help me tear down this bad wood and reframe it so we can install this door. So that's going to be a project in and of itself. In the meantime, I will be working on this. I'm going to get this video posted. I'm going to come back out here. I'm going to put the factory rocker's arm in here. I'm going to try the trick where you use a dry erase marker on the valve stem, and basically what you should do is see a clean line in the center of that valve tip of the valve, the tip of the valve. And if it is center, then I know I'm good, and I can just order that size push rod. But before I go, let me show you what I'm talking about here. See, this push rod is not straight on that valve at all. It should be centered, and it's not. And see, this is weird. See, like, these things are not really that tight, so it shouldn't have broke. It's not like it was over tightened. 0 lash plus half a turn is what they call for. And maybe you can see right there, that rock arm is nowhere near centered on the valve stem. You can see right here that this, come on camera. Basically, this is the tip of your valve. This piece of the rocker arm should be dead center right here. So what they do is they say take a dry erase marker, paint the tip of this, put your rocker arm in here, run the engine over, and it'll basically just wear off the dry erase marker. So you should just see like a shiny spot in the dead center. If it's too far this way, your rocker arms are too short. If it's too far this way, they're too long. And obviously, here, looking at that, is way, way too long. It should not be lined up like that. I really was kind of hoping with the play hydraulic lifters have, I wouldn't run into this thing, but live and learn. I saw this quote one time, it's so true. It said, life is the best teacher and the lessons don't come cheap. And it is so true. I got in a hurry. I've been wanting to get this car started for so long. I got in a hurry. I didn't double check stuff. I saw those rock arms crooked, and I just kept my fingers crossed, thought it would be good. Lesson learned, it's biting me in the ass now. This car will be down for a little bit longer, and it's going to cost me more money. Now I have to reorder push rods. I had to order a set of these studs. Thank God. These heads have screw-in studs. The original heads on this car, they were push-in, like pushing things. If that were the case, I would have to pull this whole, I would have to pull the intake and the heads and everything back off, take the headers off, and have the heads redone. Thankfully, these just unbolted out, so thank God for that. And hopefully we'll get this car running in about, maybe by the end of this week, maybe within a week. Like I said, I got this project at the White House, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Sorry, I really hate to end on such a bad news. I don't hide anything from you. If you're building one of these type of cars, learn from my mistakes. This car's been apart for so long, I lost track of where things were. I tried to keep everything very well organized, but like I said, it's been apart so long, kind of forgot where things went and how things went together. I forgot about that pigtail. So whenever I put the intake in, I just, whatever, I just kind of lost track of stuff. So, and then I just wanted to hear this car run. I thought, anyhow, I've already said that too many times. So again, I hate to end like this, but I just want to let you know where we're at with this thing. Hopefully I have some good news for you shortly. I believe the studs are coming today. If that's the case, I can go ahead and, well, I can, anyhow, I need to go. I'm just upset about everything. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please support the channel. We will get this car running one way or another. My dad's going to be here. He's worked on a lot of cars, so maybe me and him, Sparty, man, Nation, invitation holds, man. If you want to come down, if you're not working or something like that, you retired, I don't know. If you want to come down, so be it. Let's fire this beast up, man. Let me know. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Hopefully we'll hear this thing, big cam chopping. See you in the next one.